I'm so curious about what liberals, the terrifying democracy that is happening, that is scaring the crap out of me. As a liberal, I'm fascinated. Let me know.
We keep hearing about the term democracy.
Yes, we do. And you know where we hear it from? We heard the term democracy from, most recently, from Glenn Beck, who said,
"Stop using the word democracy."
Right. So obviously, Dinesh did not get the memo.
Democracy in action.
Stop using the word democracy.
But what does democracy in action
Stop using the word democracy.
really look like?
What does it look like?
Oh, it doesn't look like the H.R. 1, the Democrats rewriting the laws of elections. It doesn't.
They're not rewriting the laws of the elections. They're making sure that they're equal across the country. The Voting Rights Act was not the rewriting of voting laws in the country. By the way, Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, which effectively rewrote the laws, the election laws across the country as far as the protections it provided. That's what H.R. 1 seeks to do. And again, to all the folks who think that everybody should have an ID, I'm with you. Absolutely. Start supplying everyone with a free ID card. It costs them nothing to update, because voting is a right. Getting on a plane isn't. Buying a beer isn't. Signing up for Netflix isn't. The things you need a credit card for or you need a photo ID for that you keep citing aren't rights. You have a right to travel. You got 2 feet, use them. But you can't get on a plane without an ID. But you can't say because you have the right to travel freely in your own country without showing your papers that you can get on any goddamn plane without a ticket and showing you're the actual owner of the ticket and that you're actually know where you're going and you're not kidnapping the person you're traveling with. It's ridiculous.
Look like the Democrats trying to block voter integrity laws.
Voter integrity laws. Which voter integrity laws would that be? The one where local deputies can pull people over, keep their driver's license if they for a busted taillight, and you do a dozen or so of those in every county in the 3 months leading up. Yeah, you could start tipping the election.
All of those are power-grabbing schemes.
Power-grabbing schemes.
Marching behind the banner of democracy, but
quit it.
Stop using the word democracy.
You're upsetting Glenn Beck. Dinesh.
Not really reflecting democracy itself. Here's a little clip. This is from Vail, Arizona.
This is from Vail, Arizona. How's the skiing there? Do they do sand snowboarding? Vail. All right. Vail, Arizona. And so this is a clip from Vail, Arizona. Okay. So is this about, we'll see.
Of a group of parents who decide
a group of parents
to confront the school board, which has imposed mask requirements, absolutely gratuitous, preposterous mask requirements on children.
So the gratuitous mask requirements. So the kids have to walk around with a mask over their eyes, over their mouth. They have to wear basically a head diaper. They're mocked while they do it. It's just filth.
Even though children are only infinitesimally likely to get or transmit.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose 2 or 3, versus discomfort temporarily until we get this under control, aren't those 3 or 4 dead kids worth it? Thanks, Dinesh. Thanks. Here's to pro-life.
COVID-19. Watch to see what happens.
Okay.
It's 4.
Oh, she's wearing a 1776 shirt.
5. If they've all quit, we're hearing they've all quit. Who's nominated? That's 4.
So the school board all quit?
4. Oh, you were nominated? We didn't vote on you.
Yeah, this looks like democracy. This doesn't look like mob rule freak out or anything. Democracy. Please, Dinesh, tell me what are we watching?
Okay.
We didn't vote on her.
Hey, we already had somebody here that got passed over. We got one.
Okay, someone needs, so she has to be nominated.
Tiffany Sanders. I second it.
Seconded? Okay. All in favor of Tiffany? Aye! Opposed? All right, full name?
Tiffany Sanders.
All right.
That's what I call democracy. People are voting on someone before they know their full name. I'm guessing we're not going to see 10 years of taxes. I'm kidding. This is democracy. These are the right-wing parents that stormed the thing. Nobody else is there. It was 100% ayes. This isn't democracy. This is like the Bernie caucuses that everybody was bitching about. I mean, come on. This is supposed to terrify me? Why? What do I give a shit about the this high school board? Basically, a bunch of right-wing assholes storm the place, just barge in. I don't want to make my kid wear a mask. It's a pandemic, yelling shit like that. And then the school board goes, these people are assholes. I quit. Fine, whatever. I mean, my kid's still going to be at school on Monday.
All right, so that's 5. They've all been elected based on the Robert's Rules of Order.
The Robert's Rules of Order. Is this the Robert's rule that like any law that isn't specifically in the state constitution of Arizona is therefore you can make up your own laws by county?
At this point, we need to adjourn. Okay.
No mandatory masks. Well, then how about this? Why aren't you going voluntary masks? Please, where are the people in there that would be holding a sign going, please wear a mask? That would be the democracy part of it, one would think. People with opposing viewpoints hashing it out in the middle. The evil center part. The evil center. The establishment. The center. They're evil. The part where these groups and these groups kind of work on what works for everybody. Oh, God, what works for everybody. It's gross.
At this point, so somebody needs a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, that's good. Come on, folks. This is for Rizzle.
I'm going to go out there and tell them what's going on.
No, wait.
Please. No. Don't go out there and tell them what's going on. Come in here and tell me what's going on. What is going on? What are we supposed to be watching? I mean, this is straight up. I mean, not since the Constitutional Convention, isn't it? I mean, Peyton Randolph would be so proud.
Oh, okay. So
we have to have an official meeting first.
So they'll have to meet on that.
This isn't we have to have an official meeting. We'll meet on that.
The board will have
next to each other.
Oh my gosh. New board. Let's get pictures of the new board.
New bill.
This is the new board. The people who stormed the meeting and made everybody quit are all gathering together. These 4 and this little kid are the Board of Education in Vail, Arizona. I don't know about you, but I am pissing myself with fear. How do you not? This is real democracy taking over. What are we watching?
Need one more. Where's the 5th?
Where's the other board member?
She's pleading.
Need the 5th.
Fear is a liar? Is that that t-shirt from Gary Busey's Teespring? Fear is false evidence that appears real, and liar is leftist, ignorant assholes rule. No, that's wrong. That sounds terrible.
Someone find Angelica.
Yeah, find Angelica. We can't officially close the board meeting, and this is not real democracy. We can't adjourn until somebody gets Angelica back in here. She's by the punch bowl.
First
Get back in here, Angelica. We're boarding. Come on.
Yeah, so new board. Okay, so
This is in Vail, Arizona. Where's Vail, Arizona? Exactly.
here's the new board. Marco, can they vote to remove the mask?
Mrs. Newborn.
Okay. All right, you guys. Hey, you can vote to remove the mask. So somebody on the board needs the motion to remove the mask, and then someone needs the second. Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. Quiet.
Shut up, okay? You gotta let her finish her QAnon. She's got. What the hell?
Everybody be quiet.
Guys, shut up, okay? Come on. We're about to officially, unofficially, as officially democracies in the initial 5-person board after everyone else has quit that we took over. We are going to use the full force of democracy, meaning, of course, this bullish crowd of in the middle of a witch hunt who stormed in here, and if this was, the 1700s would end in a hanging. We are about to stand here and tell everybody how Q is our unofficial leader, and we will reference all decisions forthwith in the school district from Reddit threads. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Praise business.
Quiet.
Go ahead.
Shut up.
Motion that the entire Vail School District will be free of mask policy, and it will be optional to all teachers and students alike with no fear of retribution.
No fear of retribution, so no strafe bombing.
Perfect. All right, board member needs a second. Okay, we need to have a vote. Okay, say your name.
Angelica, aye.
Aye, Tiffany Sanders.
Aye, Stacy Olinger.
Hi, Billy.
Aye, Anastasia.
Okay, that's unanimous.
No, Anastasia who? Her name isn't Anastasia. What kind of witch coven bullshit is this, Anastasia? If she disappears in a puff of purple smoke right now, like a lost episode of WandaVision, I'm gonna be very excited actually.
Unanimous. No more mask in Vail.
No, not no more masks in Vail. Masks will be optional in Vail. As will male, because this is, of course, a pro-DeJoy district.
Now, this is actually fun stuff because...
Because what? It's a school board in the middle of fucking nowhere.
This is democracy in action.
Stop using the word democracy.
This is the kind of stuff, by the way, that Alexis de Tocqueville talked about when he came to America in 1831.
Yes, he did. You know why? Because that was before we had a interstate highway system and fucking phones and microwaves and cell phones and they were still sawing people's goddamn legs off rather than fix their ingrown toenail, you dipshit. God damn it. They do this all the time and then insist that and then they complain that Marxists are you're both citing shit that has nothing to do with modern life.
He went to these New England town meetings, which looked a lot like what we see here in Vail, Arizona.
Hold on 1 second. I need to look something up real quick. New England town meetings. Let's see. New England. Yeah, something like this. New England. What's a good? Here's some pictures of some New England town meetings. By the way, everybody got a chance to say their piece. By the way, just saying. Here's a New England town meeting. Here's some New England town meetings. This is from a live stream of a New England town meeting. Jesus.
You've got ordinary citizens showing up.
No, that's you asshole. Those people are extraordinary.
And they're showing up really out of frustration, if not out of desperation.
Why are people desperate about mask requirements in schools? They're going back to school. They already have schools open there.
Confront this insensitive school board that really doesn't care.
Really? They don't? I mean, who cares? Who cares if, 1 out of 10,000 kids? It won't happen here.
Mainly made up of Democrats, but with a couple of rhino Republicans. And
so it was a balanced group of people that was overrun by a bunch of QAnon nutcases. Democracy in action. I'm sorry. I said the bad word. Oh crap! Did I close the window? Oh no.
Stop using the word democracy.
I'm sorry. That was my fault. I clicked the wrong thing. Hold on. Let me add this. Go back to history. There it is. And get back to there.
We keep hearing about
Yeah, we do keep hearing about it. And yet, why do we... Hold on. We'll get back in this. And fast forwarding to this. What kind of a jackass?
stuff because this is democracy in action.
Oh, God damn it.
Stop using the word democracy.
This is the kind of stuff, by the way, that Alexis de Tocqueville talked about when he came to America in 1831. He went
By the way, the right wing would beat up any dude named Alexis de Tocqueville because they would think he was a drag queen. I'm just saying.
to these New England town meetings, which looked a lot like what we see here.
Get the hell out of here. Okay, somebody, who's that in the chat? Back up. Mike. No. We're not, this is not the show where you come to wish death on anybody. Sorry, even if they're ignorant. I don't care. Not my show. Not here. Not ever. No. If you don't want to have that standard, there's go watch any number of the right-wing shows I was referencing earlier. They will welcome you with open arms.
In Vail, Arizona, you've got ordinary citizens showing up, and they're showing up really out of frustration, if not out of desperation,
If not out of ignorance.
to confront this insensitive
Desperately ignorant.
school board that
Insensitive, guys. We need a revolution.
really doesn't care. Mainly made up of Democrats, but with a couple of rhino Republicans. And the funny thing is, when the people really show up, the school board flees. They literally
They quit. They went, these assholes are nutcases. I'm not serving on this. This is a free... nobody gets a salary for being on the school board.
take off. Just a bunch.
Voluntary position. And if they are getting a salary, can you imagine being willing to give up your salary, like the people you would have to deal with on a regular basis, as far as the parents in Vail, Arizona, to give up your job. I quit. You people are insane. Thanks, Thomas Anna.
Bunch of cowards and losers. They can't even listen to it and at the very least make their case.
Dude, you don't even know what the fuck happened leading up to this. You're looking at a clip that happened afterwards. How many times, all right, goddammit, I have constantly railed against on YouTube videos and on Twitter and the like when I see somebody take a police shooting or an incident, something like that, where they show the middle of the confrontation, they cut off the beginning of it, and then they start going, this is an example of something awful, and then they turn out to be wrong later, but the damage has already been done on the social fabric of our country. And I've been very open about that stuff when it happens, because I not only think that it's wrong, but it also weighs down and destroys the argument when real police violence happens that is wrong and needs to be addressed. Those kind of things. And these guys, that's all they bitch about. And here is this asshole picking up in the middle of the vote after everybody's walked out, acting like he knows what the hell happened leading up to this. And what we all know, what we can tell, is there's a bunch of Trumpsters and maggots and anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers all standing in a hallway outside the room, forming their own automatically without holding a vote, because it's not a county vote. They just automatically, anybody who's here, the only people who matter, we're going to hold a quick vote and establish our own Robertson rules. Jesus Christ.
Before these parents, they basically run for the exits.
Excuse me. Citation needed. I'm sure a bunch of those are parents. Are all of them parents? I mean, if you're going to talk about voter fraud, who's checking IDs? They didn't even ask the other lady's last name, you asshole. Oh my God. Like, think about this for a second. These guys, he was just bitching about HR 1 and election fraud, and that they won't even let you have voter integrity, and namely IDs. And his example is this mob of maggots storming a school board meeting. They all quit, and therefore they decide to install themselves by voice vote and then vote the mask mandate away in an instant, without review, without writing it down, without submitting it to anybody else. Like, what are you talking about? Why would anybody call that democracy? You know what this looks like to me? It looks like Venezuela.
Now, amusingly, the parents
But like chubby right-wing Venezuelan.
Interpret this at the school board as sort of voluntarily quit, and so they sort of start voting for new members and so on. I don't think any of that is valid.
I'm sorry, what? Sorry, what'd you say there, Dinesh the dumbass? You don't think what?
The parents interpret this at the school board as sort of voluntarily quit, and so they sort of start voting for new members and so on. I don't think any of that is valid. It's symbolic rather than real, but never.
No, it isn't. And first of all, if it's symbolic rather than real, how is this democracy in action? What? Now you're ditching out on this? Is this? Look, I watch these things without. I don't pre-watch any of this shit. Sometimes I will scroll forward to like check audio and that kind of stuff, but I intentionally do not watch this stuff beforehand because I feel like my arguments are sharper if I'm not presenting gotcha videos and I'm doing them in full context. I'm playing this whole video, which I didn't want to do, but here we are. And this asshole, this is a pre-shot thing. He's cut this together himself. This isn't a live stream or a chunk of a live stream he put on. He chose this video. He chose this narrative. This is supposed to make his point.
Nevertheless, what I'm hoping comes out of this is that
Nevertheless, you are 4 minutes and 36 seconds into a 5-minute and 20-second video. Now you're saying nevertheless about the very evidence you were putting together that birthed the name of your video, you dumbass. This is democracy in action and it terrifies liberals. No, it doesn't. I find it hilarious and pathetic. And I'm not terrified by your video of it either. This is absurd. And if there's been a better example from Dinesh D'Souza's video channel, his new podcast, or, DQ, whatever that is, his D apostrophe channel. If there's a better example of him being a complete and utter fucking hypocrite, I don't know where it is, and I'm sure it might exist. I don't doubt that this is, off the rails for him. But imagine saying this is democracy in action as the premise, and it terrifies liberals, and then your example is a local school board quits en masse, and the parents that charge the place in effectively an emotionally weak mob form their own one. After those guys quit and protest, they instantly form their own group and instantly vote on mask mandates in a pandemic, in the middle of a pandemic, insofar as wherever they are in the scope of it in Vail, Arizona, and what the cases are like there. That these folks are just take it over, burn it down, call ourselves the leaders, and then this asshole will say people need IDs to vote. People need, and then this woman's like, what's your name? Your full name? Anastasia. Get out of here. And then she just voted. They just voted. They're gonna say that that's the law now. And if it isn't, if 2 days later they tried to implement this and people went, that was totally, out, that was not a true election. It doesn't qualify. You can't make a rule like that, blah, blah, blah. And it ends up being, then what was scary about this to begin with? What kind of revolution is this? It's just lazy, sovereign citizen horse shit.
The school board, these, dense people get a message. They realize that they are accountable to the parents.
No, they didn't. They're not accountable. The school board is not responsible. They are not responding to these people. They left rather than be responsible. Rather than stand there and say, you people are insane. This is a crowd full of QAnon rejects who are frustrated and ignorant and have been buying lock, stock, and barrel the bullshit from the Trump campaign and Fox News and OAN and Newsmax, and that made you storm down here because we want your kids to wear masks through the end of the school year so that we can start next year without any deaths.
Parents whose children are being deprived.
How are they being deprived? They're going to school.
And in a sense, almost tortured with the
Tortured with masks. They're being tortured. Do you know how, oh my God. Do you realize how privileged your life has to be? And I'm not talking about white privilege. I'm talking about American, like just people of means. You realize how little difficulty one-to-one you've had to experience in your life, in your pink t-shirt and your comfy cushion chair and your like Pottery Barn, first tier Pottery Barn curtains, your ballerina tchotchkes, to use the fucking word torture about kids wearing masks for school till the end of the year because they're trying to protect the lives of their fellow students and their teachers, who are actually the vulnerable ones. Kids can carry it, but they're not going to die from it. But also 30% of people who've gotten it, recovered from it, are having mental health issues, anxiety, and all kinds of other stuff that they've never had before. And you're going to leave them with that. Like, oh, you might catch it, but only about a third of you will have lifelong psychological damage. Synapses in your brains burned, stroke effects. Who cares if the head of the math department needs a lung transplant? My kid doesn't want to wear a mask for another 6 weeks. Good God.
these preposterous requirements that are not justified by medical necessity in any way.
No, in way. If you're going to say in any way, yeah, I mean, if you want to make an argument that statistically it's insignificant, you can do that. But you have to also, when you say statistically insignificant, if you can say it fast enough, like I can, if you're going to say that, you also have to reconcile the fact that you consider the people who die because of it, that may happen in that district, that may happen because of what you're saying and the ramifications of it, that those people that die are simply statistical collateral damage. That they kind of, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs, even if the omelet is the entire substructure of, vice presidents and principals and teachers. That if you lose, 10 or 15 teachers over the course of a pandemic in an area where no one's taking it seriously, people who taught in the district for years, had relationships with students, were part of the reason why the alumni comes back to the school. Oh yeah, I'm going to donate money to build a gym, help build a new gym at the school where I went to high school, after they let my two favorite teachers die because they let the school board quit, and they let these maniacs roll in and go, no more masks, it's the mark of the beast.
And so the outcome, one hopes, is that the school board is now under pressure.
They're not out. They're under no pressure. They fucking left, you dipshit.
To revise its mask mandate.
Revise. They voted on it. And you're calling that democracy. Nevertheless.
To listen to the parents, at the very least, to come up with solutions that...
they did. Social distancing, wearing masks inside the school. You don't have to wear when you're playing outside. Family groups can stick together. You're wearing it for the teachers and the administrators because they're hard to replace. That's it.
Are acceptable to the parents whose children...
They're not going to be acceptable to the people who are carrying signs that says no mandatory masks and wearing a 1776 shirt, as if they equate the two. What the hell? Can you imagine being that deluded? That in a pandemic, the idea that you would have to temporarily, for about a year or so until this comes under control, wear a mask in public in your interactions with strangers and people who are outside your household is the same as the redcoats are coming. As they are marching men in redcoats are firing upon your brethren. That they are bayoneting your family so that you can't fight back in a generation. Can you imagine being that weak and egotistical? Good God.
now, after all, the quote stakeholders in this transaction. It's delightful to see
The stakeholders? Dinesh, you are not a parent in Vail, Arizona. And I will go out on a limb and say that all of the school board members either are or were, meaning their children are currently in the district or have gone through it, and that's why they're on the school board. You're not. What the fuck are you talking about, stakeholders? Stakeholders would never, after a mob drives out the school board and then stands in the hallway and makes themselves, by voice vote with no paperwork, the school board, and then votes on something that's life and death, that you're a stakeholder. All right.
the parents taking action in this way, and one can only
Masks on children is child abuse? No, it is not. Do you know how weak your children have to be? Scaring your children about a mask mandate during a pandemic and not teaching them to operate properly in society in a circumstance like that, that's child abuse. If you, tell you what, I'll let you call it child abuse if you keep the masks on your children 5 years after we've gotten this under control. If you make them wear them to bed. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Masks are child abuse.
hope that their efforts prove fruitful.
That was Tucker Carlson's argument or whatever. It's just dumb. Kids can carry it. They might not die from it, but they can deliver it. And I don't think any kid wants to kill grandma. I survived it, but, my grandmother, they're cancel Christmas. Where's the war on Christmas, folks? Where are they in this? Kids can carry it, but they won't die from it. But so if they carry it home or they carry it to school because their parents are nutcase QAnons,